On Roblox, there's tons of different Jujutsu Kaisen games ranging from high quality to pretty garbage. So in today's video, we'll be exploring them together to see if they are trash or peak. Starting with the talk of the town recently, Jujutsu Shenanigans. Which some people will say that it's the best Jujutsu Kaisen game on Roblox. Well, maybe more than a few have this opinion, but anyways, the game has been able to get around 30,000 players in just its short time being out. The game is indeed a battlegrounds game at heart, even though people like to say that it's not a battlegrounds game. Oh, it's a shenanigans game, which makes zero sense when it has all the mechanisms that make a battlegrounds game. A front dash that leaves you negative on block and liable for a counterattack, a 3-in-1 combat system with 4 moves and an awakening that usually has an ultimate move that you can pull off, which tends to almost one-shot people. When I first started playing the game, I saw that goofy run and I immediately thought, oh, this game is probably garbage.
A few minutes later.
So, yeah. Yo, did you see how my character just bolted over? Okay, that's kind of clean. And I try to compare the game to the strongest battlegrounds, which is of course the best battlegrounds by a long shot in many ways, but the main reason is that game's combat mechanic, which is the reason it is at a staggering 100k players. But when I stopped comparing the two and just let the game be its goofy playing self, I actually started to enjoy it a lot more over time. The destruction physics, which are the main selling point of this game, can lead to fights indoors that usually would be stale in certain games, turn into this. Manji kick. Monk. Oh my. Yo, look how yo, he's getting cooked.
Are you sure about that?
Yo, he got bailed out. Oh, he came up here and didn't do nothing. GG's. The destruction can really lead to random things happening and leading to chaotic fights. It reminds me of a little game called Natural Disaster Survival. The best part about a game like that, although it's really old, the destruction physics with the disasters lead to an almost new experience every time when played. With this game, the combat mechanics from other Battlegrounds games in tandem with the same destruction physics leads to a similar effect. Oh, is he gonna fall off the roof? A video posted by the Holy Girl 75 has him saying that quote I mentioned earlier.
Jujutsu Shenanigans isn't Jujutsu Battlegrounds.
But I don't think what he said was meant to be taken literal, as all he meant by that was that the game was meant to be taken as a little fun game that you hop in with a couple of friends or something and battle it out and enjoy the destruction physics the game has. When I did that, it all finally started to click, and I just needed to lower my standards a bit since the game is far from perfect when it comes to combat, and sure, that can be frustrating, but it has its charms for sure. So now you may be asking, what else does this game have in its combat that makes it different from its counterparts as a battlegrounds game? Well, in this game you have an extra key that is always in use, the R key, and this is basically a way to use alternate versions of your moves in your kit. Gojo has his lapse blue move, which is able to be used to pull your opponent in, normally for a kick that sends them blind, but when you use R right after this ability, it allows you to teleport up in the air with your opponent and kick him down, allowing you to continue the fight fluidly from there. This is something I have yet to see in any battlegrounds game thus far, and already gives people a reason to even play this game over TSB, despite that game having the generally better combat system. I find myself actually sorta enjoying playing this combat system more since it allows for some really neat outcomes. Oh my god! Not only is that cool, but check this out. Gojo, when in Awakening, can literally make a nuke out of his maximum lapse blue and reversal red skills to just straight up blow up the environment. But that's not all. The other characters have their fair share of quirks as well. Sukuna has a secret ability called World Slash. Essentially, this move is a big cutting slash. The move isn't just in your kit, but you have to press certain buttons in a sequence for it to work. Hikari is the early access character of the game, and his Awakening straight up pops his domain, and you literally have to roll 3 7s because you know he's Hikari, he gambles in order to go into his mode where he is essentially invincible, and man, that was a blast. Alright, what is that called? Lucky rush down? Yo! The game recently added a 1v1 mode, but also with this I added something that I haven't seen yet in any of the duel modes in other games. Modifier cards you can use at the start of the match that affect the way the match goes in various ways. For example, one of them is that you build mode quicker, but the opponent can see your cooldowns. Just little fun stuff like this is really awesome to see and gives Jujutsu Shenanigans another leg up in the battlegrounds genre, and I'm really really excited to see what this game does next. Exhibit B, the issue with most JJK games. The games I'm about to list in a second all share one fatal flaw that makes me not even want to play them. This includes Sorcerers Battlegrounds, Cursed Arena, and Cursed Battlegrounds. They all suffer from the clone syndrome. They all feel like worse versions of TSB or even worse versions of each other. The most popular out of all of them is of course Sorcerers Battlegrounds, which has a toxic problem, but what Battlegrounds game doesn't? It's just that this game features some of the most toxic community members I've ever seen on Roblox. And oh yeah, good luck on actually playing any of the new characters if you aren't ready to spend some Robux on 2 early access characters, which is the first Battlegrounds game I've ever seen do something that greedy just to play new updates. They also keep reworking old characters way too often and not focusing on actually getting the early access characters done, and the reason for that is probably because they want people to spend Robux on them first, so they keep delaying their completion. Also, why is almost every JJK Battlegrounds game have the volume up on all SFX? It just absolutely destroys your ears on entry. This game is just loud for no reason, actually. Why is this game so loud? Not to mention games like Sukuna Battlegrounds just being absolute shovelware on the platform, but just because they're JJK, they get players. But not only do the Battlegrounds games suffer from clone syndrome, but the other RPG style games suffer from it too. Someone suggested Jujutsu Chronicles, and yeah, this game was not only super outdated and kind of looked like a basic One Piece game that would have came out in like 2019, but has literally no NPCs to fight. The objective is just to level up and get your skills and your innate abilities in the game, and you can literally just straight up buy whatever you want in the game, and it kind of pay to win, which is a no-go for me. Jujutsu Lineage is literally just Rogue Lineage with some Jujutsu Kaisen references slapped on, and was hyped for like a day before getting its players Thanos snap. Then you have the unfortunate release of Grand Kaisen that was a GPO JJK clone that managed to scam thousands within a few hours.
All this money that we made, I'm smoking kelp to the face.
Exhibit C, how JJK took over other Roblox games. If you couldn't tell already, Jujutsu Kaisen is a very popular subject on Roblox, and many games have took notice of this. Even just straight up putting JJK references or Gojo in the game, even if the game has nothing to do with the anime itself. Recently, a One Piece Battlegrounds game by the name C's Battlegrounds decided to add Gojo as a playable character in a One Piece game, which makes close to no sense. Not to mention, he's the only character in the game that you have to do a super grindy push for, where you literally have to win 3 ranked matches in a row, then you have to get 100 kills, which isn't that bad, but then you realize you have to win 33 ranked matches in this godforsaken game. Well, I guess it's worth it since he is the strongest character in the game and it revived the game from its death, which just goes to show you how powerful of an influence JJK is on Roblox games right now. I haven't even mentioned the Battlegrounds games that add Gojo in private servers like TSB, but TSB's isn't as shameless as like something like C's Battlegrounds, since you can only mess around with him in private servers instead of literally having him as a playable character in pubs or rank. There's even a whole JJK RNG game, which of course is an awful game because basically all RNG games at this point are pretty bad. It also seems to me that the JoJo community on Roblox are lovers of JJK, since almost every popular JoJo game has some sort of JJK collaboration with either small abilities or whole specs being added to the game eventually. I guess JoJo games can't live off the hype of their own anime since there is none. Still, there's all types of JJK games. I wouldn't be surprised if there's literally a Tycoon JJK game too. Oh wait, there literally is. Exhibit D, the future of JJK games on Roblox. As we all know, the most hyped up Jujutsu Kaisen game to ever be announced on Roblox is Jujutsu Infinite, which is yet to be released to the public for free, which is crazy. The game at first was $30 if you didn't know. Then Roblox was like, no, you ain't escaping the Roblox tag, and then they shut that little scheme down permanently. You can still play it, but only if you are a content creator and or paid the original $30 the game was priced for. The game, in my opinion, is probably the most unique out of the Jujutsu Kaisen games as far as the techniques and combat goes. The PvE is nothing we haven't seen before, and it's just the basic stuff like go destroy this many curses or go defeat a boss or a curse user, which is actually a lot better than most Jujutsu Kaisen games on Roblox because some will literally have you beating bandits. On the PvP side, it's quite unbalanced towards the stronger cursed abilities, which is really unfortunate, but since the game has a spin system, this was predictable since rarity rules all in this type of game. But other than that, with a bit more work, this game can easily be the most popular JJK game to ever be released on Roblox, if it ever releases. The last update of this game was released back in February and added some small improvement to the game's domain clashing system. The game now has crafting for items, a brand new raid system, and even PvP modes now in the game. The game still does not have a confirmed release date, which is quite concerning since we are approaching summer pretty soon, but hopefully it could come out sometime soon. Please. But as I say in every video, don't forget to like, subscribe, and comment down below your favorite Jujutsu Kaisen game or Roblox, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.
From being charismatic, while I'm at it, my shit's automatic. They wanna delete my existence, underestimated the power of resistance. I'ma die to the minute